In this video, I'm going to show you how I'm knocking down over $1,000 a week with my weekly covered call paycheck challenge. If any of that interests you, stick around. I know you're going to like this one. Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot covered call video. Well, hey, look, today we're talking about the weekly covered call challenge that I have accepted by me. That's right. I have accepted a challenge to try to generate $1,000 a week using one stock. We're going to try to do that as many times as we can. Now, if this is the first time you've been to my channel, what you need to understand is this. I am not like all of the other selling premium channels on YouTube. What I do is I show you my trades, we talk about them, so maybe you learn something. I'm from the old school that if you see it once, see it twice, you're going to get more comfortable with it. And when you get more comfortable with it, you will try it. You will try to get your experience so you can do it. And what I encourage you to do is get that experience, get that financial education so you can get in the game. How many times have I heard stories from people out there that want to get into the game, but they're afraid. They're fearful of doing something wrong. Trust me, you can learn this and you can have success. Now, what I do is I show you advanced trades. I will talk about the basics, but at the end of the day, I think you come here to see me put on some very interesting trades. You're engaged, you like that, and you learn from it. And I'll tell you what, you love engaging with the channel by putting a comment. Time and time again, my videos get released and I'll have 40 comments. That absolutely tells me you're engaged. I'll go to other YouTube covered call videos and they don't have any comments or likes. That tells me when you bang that like button and you leave me a comment, you're engaged. And when you're engaged, I know you're starting to put skin in the game so you can learn this, so you can have success. So let's go ahead and get to this because I know everybody wants me to jump right into it. But before we get going, if you like what you're hearing today and you want to be a part of the channel, I want you to subscribe to the channel. It's right there and it's free. And hey, look, if you like this video today, bang that like button. It lets me know you like what I'm doing. Now what I'm doing is this. Apparently I'm not updating my website because right now that number is absolutely wrong. I am now at $28,000 cash on cash. And I'll tell you what, absolutely jacking me up that I'm now up 12% on the year and the S&P 500 is down 12%. I love that I have learned a strategy. I've learned a skill. I'm using that skill because it's important to have steady, consistent returns, right? You hear all these fake gurus out there trying to show you 3 trading patterns to make the quick buck. I want to have a steady stream of income. And a lot of what I do here on the channel is I talk about that 30-day covered call. I've talked about many of my trades being with great S&P type companies and collecting a crumb, right? I try to collect 1 crumb, 2 crumbs. All of a sudden, we're talking real money. Now, with that said, I do have this day trade, swing trade mentality because that's where I was back in 2015 when my mentor Jerry sat me down and showed me the covered call strategy. I'll tell you what, I was frustrated, was not having success until he showed it to me. Then he helped me. He answered my questions. I got more comfortable with it, and I did my very first trade in 2016. And I'll be honest with you, I have not looked back, and I have now created a steady stream of income that I believe I can count on. And as you can see, over the past 4 years, that income is pretty darn steady. And I don't do much heavy lifting. I've talked to you about this as well. I don't go out there and try to buy that one-hit wonder pharmaceutical company and try to make a couple $1,000 on one trade on a very suspect stock. I'm using stocks like 3M, Chevron, Bristol Myers, Microsoft. Look, I have over 200 videos on YouTube showing you that I've used great companies to generate that money right there. That money right there. So what you need to do, sit back and try to take it all in. But more importantly, watch a video here, watch a video there. Start to get comfortable with it, but more importantly, start to get excited. Start to get excited that you too can have this kind of success. Now let's talk about that weekly covered call challenge. You know, over the past couple weeks, I've done videos where I've used one stock and I'm generating some serious income. I mean, when I use one stock for 30 days, knocking down damn near $3,000, that absolutely blows my mind. I mean, back in the day when I started this in 2016, I was just hoping to make $1,250 a month. Before I show you my first week of my weekly covered call challenge, I want to share with you a little story. And this is my mentality. This truly is my thought process. I never forget my buddy told me a story about when he was trying to flip real estate pre-2008 real estate crash. He was talking about how he was trying to hit home runs and he was having great success. Then the real estate market crashed in 2008 and 9. And what he realized was this: let's regroup, come up with a strategy where we pick up a crumb here, a crumb there. Right? And once we pick up a couple crumbs, all of a sudden we're talking real money. That's why you'll always hear me talking about collecting a crumb, because I want to collect 1 crumb, 2 crumbs, so I can set my hurdles low, have success trying to pick up a crumb. I'm using my experience. I'm picking up a crumb here, a crumb there. This excites me so much that I wanted to share it with you. And there's a couple things I'm going to show you here. 2 weeks ago, I did a video, one stock, 30 days, $2,900. We use Facebook. Now that's a great trade. Anybody can do it. Last week I did a 1-day trade on Roku. Now that's really hyper aggressive. Don't have to do that. I did that only because the opportunity presented itself and I did it and I shared it with you on a video. Some of you commented below letting me know that you too have done that many times. And that jacks me up, man. When I hear your story, it excites me because I know somebody out there is having success. So what I've been doing recently is playing the 3X leveraged ETFs. I've talked about this many times, and I've played UDOW, the TQs, and UPRO for some great premiums. And what I do is this: I keep my hurdles low, right? I've talked about this in the past. I buy the stock and write the 1 deviation out 30-day covered call, and I've been picking up some 8 and 9%, having my shares go away. I mean, really, where are you making 8 and 9% cash on cash? And to be honest with you, some are cringing saying, I just don't want to play leveraged ETFs. But here's the deal. Once you use them once, twice, 3 times, you start to get comfortable. You understand, and you're able to use those. I'll give you another example. I love this analogy. I remember I was building a fence in the back, and I had to cut the wood to make the fence boards, right? Well, I was using a chop saw for that because I felt more comfortable with a chop saw. The downside of using a chop saw, though, is that you don't get a perfectly straight line. And that's when my neighbor, who's a contractor, said, look, you have to use a skill saw. So he plugs in his skill saw, and this thing terrified me, right? A skill saw is that big blade, right? It just cuts right through the wood. Well, I wasn't going to use that, right? I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt, right? Well, he showed me how to do it. We did 1 test cut, 2 test cuts. Next thing you know, I'm using it, and now it's the only thing I use. So I want to put this in perspective for you. You know, what looks scary now with no experience, right, will not look and feel that way weeks and months and years later when you've been using them time and time again. And that's where I'm at right now. I've been using leveraged ETFs for over a year. If you go to my channel search and type ETF, that's all you have to do. And when you click enter, you'll see that I have been doing this for well over a year, having tremendous success. And to be honest with you, I've answered all those questions about using 3X leveraged ETFs, how volatile they are, the depreciating asset, all that stuff. But here's the deal. I have experience. I have been using them. I have success, and I understand the expectations. So that's very important to understand. Now, fast forward to today. What I want to do is this. For the past 4 years, I've tried to keep myself motivated in this strategy, so I'll keep doing it. And that's the key. You have to keep doing it to have the kind of success we're talking. Now, I know for a lot of people, they don't want to do this every day and look at it every day, and I get it. We've talked about that. You can do the 30-day covered call, set it and forget it, and the trade will play out. I like to be a little more active, so I need to motivate myself. So I have these little challenges motivating me to try to achieve that challenge. And this is what I've done with the weekly covered call paycheck challenge, and it started this week. I even created a website cost basis tracker that you could check out. The link is right there. I'll put it in the first comment, the pinned comment. Okay, you can go there and you can see my progress. And as you can see below, I've already done my first week's trade. Now, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, but here's the deal. This is not for everyone. And if you're not prepared to be using leveraged ETFs, you need to sit on the bench. You need to sit back, get your financial education, watch me do this, watch others do it, understand the risk, and when you do your first trade, if you do your first trade, I need it to be measured. And I also need you to not overreach and buy 1,000 shares like I have, okay? We want to make sure we're making good decisions, okay? So for me, I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a directional move in the stock market by picking UPRO, which is the 3X leveraged ETF for the S&P 500. Now, I've told this to my premium members all the time. I think the stock market is trading sideways. We're going to get some downward trades, some upward trades, but it's going to trade sideways. That is the sweet spot for selling premium because we can sell the premium. Maybe the stock finishes above our strike price. We have our shares taken away. We make the premium. We're knocking it down. If the stock trades down a little bit, we're going to go ahead and keep that premium. We're going to look to write the next covered call. And we're going to do this time and time again. Well, with that said, I'm going to use UPRO for this because I believe it's a directional play on the S&P 500. I currently believe we have experienced the lows, and to be honest, we've probably experienced some short-term highs. So I think we're more sideways than higher, but here's the deal. I'm going to use this sideways trade to use UPRO for a weekly covered call. And that's what I did on my very first trade. I went ahead and bought 1,500 shares of UPRO, wrote my very first covered call on Monday, collected 85 cents in premium. I bought that option back for 10 cents. Because UPRO fell, then I wrote another one. I'm going to show you on the chart how that played out. But what I want you to do, if you're interested in this, go ahead and click on my link. Be sure to go to Facebook, search C2P Dashboard, follow my page, because that's where I've been updating everybody on this weekly covered call challenge, where I'm trying to make $1,000 every single week, or every single time I do this. Now, before I get into this, you don't have to use UPRO. You don't have to use any stocks I talk about. Find your favorite stock and you can use it for a crumb. Remember, the idea here is to collect a weekly crumb. So for me, I'm using UPRO, but you can use any company. I use Microsoft, Bristol Myers, Nike for years, knocking down 50 cents to 80 cents. I'll never forget, I was on a summer vacation in New York City. I was on a day tour of downtown Manhattan, and I'm doing a weekly covered call buyback for which I knocked it down. But it really showed me that I can do this, I can have success with it, and I'll tell you what, it's changed my financial life. Now, let's talk about UPRO in my very first week's trade. If you're still with me at this point, look, you know what I do. I show you my trades, we talk about them, so maybe you learn something. I want to motivate you and inspire you to go above and beyond. Now look, I don't want you to overreach and try to play a leveraged ETF like I am. But what I want you to do is think about this. Think about the success you could have, right? We do it measured, and we do one crumb after two crumbs until you get so good at it, you can bank on this in retirement or use it to pay some bills or live the good life. Look, I don't sell you hopes and dreams, right? I'm not that guy that shows you 3 trading patterns, tries to sell you a $1,200 get-rich package. What I do is I show you what I do. You start to get comfortable with it. And to be honest with you, you might sit back and say, damn, if this cat can do it, I know I can. And you start the process, right? You step off of the bench, and now you're going to do what you have to do. Look, I'm pulling for you, and I always wish you the best in trading. Never overreach. Always make great decisions. Now, here's my very first trade. As you can see, right here, I decided to do this challenge. So I buy UPRO at $38.50. Now, I know some of you are saying, look, man, your cost basis is 37x on the prior page. Why are you at 37x on your cost basis tracker? I had 500 shares at $34.85 when I wrote covered calls on 500 shares just a month ago. I bought an additional 1,000 shares at $38.50. We combine the two, we have a cost basis of 37x. That's why my cost basis is 37x. So when the stock's trading for about $38.50, I go ahead and buy another 1,000 shares. I immediately write the 39 strike. We're literally talking 4 days. They paid me 85 cents for that. 85 cents. So for me, that was going to be a juicy $1,200 plus crumb in 1 week. And if my shares are taken away, that's completely fine. I can come back, buy the shares, we do it again. Remember, there's really no guidelines here. The only guideline is that I use UPRO for weekly covered calls, and I'm going to try to do it as frequently as I can. I do understand, I'm on record as saying I don't believe anybody can do 52 weeks of this. No. I figure I can do 25 to 35, and with me being a little more active on this one because it's a weekly covered call challenge for which I'm going to show you videos like this and updates like this, I'm probably going to do it more frequently. And oh, by the way, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get that email notification that I did another weekly video update. Now, with that said, as the stock fell, you could see it fell tremendously, and I think it hit as low as 32. Well, I bought the option back. So I got paid 85 cents. I bought it back for 10 cents. So I gave up 10 cents of my 85 cents, knocking down over $1,100 if I end the trade right there. Well, John wanted to double dip, and I'm going to use my skill dancing with the devil, right? I always talk about dancing with the devil. What does that mean? It means that my stock purchase price for UPRO is 37x. The stock's trading for 33x. I'm going to write a 35x strike this Friday's expiration. That's dancing with the devil, because what happens is if UPRO trades above my strike of 35x, I'm going to have to buy the option back to avoid having my shares taken away. And guess what? I'd be incurring a loss. So I have to dance with the devil, meaning I have to buy this option back if UPRO finishes above 35x. It's me using my skill. And to be honest with you, that's how I'm presenting this. I'm going to use my skill, all of my exit strategies that I've used over the years to make this happen. I'm going to write the covered call, buy it back. I might write another one under my stock purchase price, buy it back. Roll it up, roll it down, credit after credit. That's the idea. Now, I got a little antsy, and about midweek, you could see UPRO is now at 33x. And I'll tell you what, I wanted that little crumb. I picked a 35.50 strike thinking no way it would get to 35.50 by Friday. Well, as you could see, hell yes it did. I had to buy it back, adding to my cost basis, but luckily it wasn't too far over. I wrote that cover call for 25 cents. That 35.50, I got 25 cents for like a 2-day trade. Well, I had to end up buying that back for 30 cents, which means that trade was minus 5 cents per share, basically losing $75 on that option. Now, I took the obligation off the board. I now own UPRO shares at 36. So what's the plan? Monday, I'm going to find that sweet strike that pays me about $1,000. That's the idea. I want to use UPRO for a weekly trade, trying to knock down $1,000 a week. Now, just to summarize this, I know a lot of you are sitting back there saying, look, you wrote the initial covered call for 85 cents. The stock fell. I totally get it that you don't care that the stock fell because you're going to keep rolling up or down for credits. So the stock purchase price really isn't an issue unless you wrote a strike under your stock purchase. We get it that you're not really worried about where the stock is trading. But had you not bought back your original option for 85 cents, you would have made almost $1,300 just sitting on your hands. And you're exactly right. Now here's the thing. I'm active. And to be honest with you, I'm more active. And sometimes it's to my detriment. So understand that's what you're getting with me. I went ahead and tried to double dip. And by the way, had that 25-cent option, that second option, finished in the money or under my strike price, that would have been a $1,500 week. Think about that. UPRO literally fell from $38.50 down to $32, finishing the week at 36, under where it started Monday. But I would have knocked down $1 per share in profit. I know, that just blew your mind, right? How are you making money on a stock for which fell some $2 and $3? Well, that's how it is when you sell premium and you don't worry about the stock purchase price because you're going to keep doing it time and time again. Now, I'm going to leave it right there for this week's video. Look, if this interests you, I want you to subscribe to the channel. It's right there and it's free. And I'll tell you what, I am going to update this. We are doing this. This excites me. Look, I know I sound flippant in saying this. When I do the traditional 30-day cover call trade, I do it knowing that's what I have to do to quote unquote pay the bills. These kind of trades actually excite me. And when it excites me, I stay engaged. That's why I try to bring you videos that excite you, because I know you'll be engaged and I know it might interest you. If it interests you, you'll try it. You'll try it And once you get comfortable with it, you'll have success. Hey, look, I'm pulling for you. I want you to be a part of the channel. Now, look, if you like this video today, I want you to bang that like button. It lets me know you like what I'm doing. I'd love 100 likes on this one, man. Pump me up. Give me that motivation to do the next red hot weekly $1,000 paycheck. I'm going to bring that video for you right here. Hey, look, be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. Until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable. Now, if you haven't checked out what the upgraded CTP dashboard is all about, I want you to go to my page, CTP dashboard, click on upgraded CTP dashboard, see if there's anything there that you think will up your game. What I'll tell you is this: recently my charts of the week have absolutely been knocking it down. In fact, my most recent chart with Home Depot, unbelievable buying opportunity. Hey, look, I don't make predictions, I don't make recommendations, but when you look at the charts and then you act on that, right, you have your financial education, you've done your homework, the charts are telling you a story, and then you act on it, man, it's a great opportunity to have success. So if any of that interests you, just go over to the website, check out the upgraded CTP dashboard.